session. We're at Guru 2025. I tell you what, the sessions today have been amazing, and I thank you all for showing up today. In my session, I'm going to take you through a lot of fun and really talk to you more about the things you should never ever do in email. Ever do. So let's jump into the presentation. Let's get started because this is the authoritative version of what you should never do in email. Now, we've heard all kinds of things today from different speakers and some great ones about what you should be doing. I'm going to take the opposite of what you should never do. And this is an AI free zone. We've been hearing about AI all day. How about we take a break from AI and just go back to the natural order of things, which is what you shouldn't do in email. So what am I going to cover? First, I'm going to tell you who in the heck I am. But then we're going to look at win-back emails, birthday emails, loyalty, transactional, browser marketing, image-only emails, unsubscribe, mobile mistakes, buying lists, and a bonus if we have enough time to get to it. I got 25 minutes, so let's dive in. First, I am the CEO of RPE Origin. RPE Origin is a vendor-agnostic, email-centric agency in the space. We work primarily with enterprise and mid-market companies to accelerate their email vision and innovation. We've been around for 20 years. Would love for you to give us a call if you need some help in your email marketing. Me, I have been in the industry for a heck of a long time. The theme of this entire show is the 90s and 2000s. That sound you're hearing, that's how I used to connect to the internet back in 1999 and earlier. It's annoying. It used to be one of those things that worked half the time and didn't work half the time. In fact, that picture was taken in 1995. So that's how old I am. I was a young buck, a DJ in Omaha, Nebraska before I got into the internet. But since 99, I've been involved in email marketing with companies such as Sears and Kmart, Adestra, Responses, and I've worked on a lot of different enterprise level strategy programs for some really amazing companies. So that's the experience I'm bringing today. But first, this whole presentation is a rant. Why is it a rant? Because, gosh, I've got a lot of things to complain about, and I thought that this was the perfect place to do it. But this is the disclaimer just to let you know that if your brand is focused on here, I'm sorry, don't hate me. But the other part of it is sometimes I don't know the inner workings of a program. I may show you something that I think maybe could use some work or we shouldn't do, but you as the owner of that email program may be sitting there going, I make millions from this program, so shut up, right? So always take it with just, this is an outside look at what companies are doing. And if I mention you, ping me on LinkedIn. I would love to know what the basis of this program is and how good it is. All right, let's start with WinBack. Everybody pays attention to the 65% on average that is inactive in your file. Well, a lot of companies do it great. Some don't do this. So this is an email from Balsam Hill. They sell Christmas stuff, which we're in the middle of, right? Christmas commercials everywhere. So what we want to do is I bought them a Christmas tree from them 2 years ago. My wife made me spend a heck of a lot of money. 2 years later, they're like, do you still want to hear from us? I'm going, maybe that's not the right headline. I spent a lot of money. What else do you want from me? I bought a tree. So when you're thinking about WinBack, think about the customer's perspective, also looking at how much have they spent historically, and is that the right message to send to somebody that spent a heck of a lot of money on one product, right? So let's make sure that we're using our headlines effectively and we're thinking about the end user in the different demographics. Next, the we miss you. Can we please bury we miss you? We miss you was used 15, 20 years ago because we did miss them. We didn't have a lot of traffic to the website. And when you left, it was really, we did miss you. But nowadays, nobody believes that you missed them. Honest to gosh, no one cares. So if we could change the we miss you thing, that would be fantastic. And the parentheses, I mean, this was a clever email, right? Friends don't let friends go without their beauty fix. I thought it was a very funny email, but the we miss you is like, I could live a day without seeing the we miss you. All right. These are fast. This is rapid fire stuff. Second, birthday emails. I used to have my birthday. I got a lot of birthday emails. Which ones were good ones? Well, this one was the worst. And this one I got in 2016. I have used this slide over and over again. So I used to be single. Now, see, I'm married, right? But 7 years after I last engaged with OkCupid, they sent me this email. Now, if you read it, you're thinking, gosh, you haven't been engaged in 7 years. But at the time they sent it in 2016, I was dating in a relationship. And can you imagine? I'm getting my mail and I check it, and my wife or my girlfriend at the time looking over my shoulder, and she says, "Happy birthday. Check out the matches to find out who wants to meet for your birthday." She's like, "Well, that's me. What the hell are you getting those emails for?" Right? Think about the lapse in activity, and especially in something like OkCupid. They may be in a relationship, but they haven't engaged with you in a heck of a long time. So this, I think, was a birthday email that they put into place, but they didn't exclude those that had been inactive, right? This was a very uncomfortable email, just to let you know. This was for my local movie theater. I love when small and medium-sized businesses can do it better than enterprise businesses. And I'll show you why in a few slides when we talk about image blocking. But the fact that this local theater knew how to balance text and images and also draw me in with the subject line and actually tell me, hey, here's your offer without me having to do anything, I thought was brilliant. So the fact that we as a marketer are only looking at our own vertical, you should think about some of the SMB businesses are actually moving faster and doing it better than we are. So make sure that you're looking at those types of businesses to give you ideas about what you can do with your business and with your program. Loyalty. Let's talk about loyalty. There's loyal customers. You can find them everywhere. Demographics and purchase history. Look at past purchase, look at current purchase, look at frequency of purchase. Loyal customers are not just those that are signed up to a loyalty program. And you, as a marketer, should have an active segment of your loyal customers. Take, for example, American Airlines. I have spent probably the last 15 years prior to I haven't traveled much lately, but there for a good 15 to 17 years, I was traveling about 100,000 miles a year. That little block, that's my lifetime mileage in travel, right? About 1.3 million miles. And that's a lot, right? But at the time, I was with American Airlines, still am with American Airlines. And every year they used to send a year in review. It was fantastic. Now, it was also depressing, but it was fantastic because it kind of rolled up what you'd done in the year with the airline, and it expressed its loyalty by those numbers. And those numbers were accurate to the individual. And I thought, this is a great email. And whenever I got it, yes, I was sad, but also I was okay with it, right? And if you think about it, back in 2017, I was in the sky 242 hours. That's a lot, right? And so they did it in 2019, they did it in 2020, but they haven't done it since. Now, these are beautiful emails, and they pull in your information. In fact, when I clicked on the view online link, it actually populated the right information. So they still had that information to power this email, each of these. And like I said, these are gorgeous in terms of brand recognition and really amplifying what the brand is and your loyalty to it. But I've been executive platinum. I've been the highest status with American Airlines for over 10 years. And I still don't travel a lot, but I still do travel and I still have my status. This program went away. So when you have a good thing, don't stop it. And if challenges are because of data or freshness or something like that, you have to overcome it, because this is a defining email for American Airlines, in especially with their loyalty. So change it, modify it, get feedback from your customers, but don't stop it, right? Okay, that's loyalty. That's the best way for me to demonstrate that, because it's the one thing I was shocked that they stopped doing it. I was surprised. Transactional emails. Here is the money tree. This is the thing that will make you just a gobsmack of money, right? And here's what I mean by gobsmack, right? So major retailers that I've talked to over the last, I don't know, 10 plus years have always reported to me that their transactional and their triggered emails make about 60% of the revenue for their email program in a given year. 40% comes from promotional email. So use this as a gauge in your own program. Is your transactional and triggered emails making you 30%? Well, then you have about 30% upside. Are you making 55%? Great. Small tweaks will take you the rest of the way, or maybe some new programs. But use this as an example of how you can draw into greater opportunities with transactional and trigger. That's why these are so important, and it's so important to do it right. Now, the gold standard is Amazon. Now, these don't look fancy, but they are. They make a lot of money for Amazon, and they're compliant. They're within the brand, and when I say compliant, I mean alignment to the brand, right? Amazon has a set way that they do emails. They haven't changed things because it works, right? They're simplistic, but it has all the guts of what you need. It has your order number, and this is a order confirmation, right? So it has what you bought, your order number, when it's going to arrive, the price, who it's shipping to, and that's it. It's short, sweet, and to the point, and it has cross-sell at the bottom, right? And these are the days, this is, when was this? This was years ago when I bought this hair gel. I had more hair at the time. But what is important about this is that it's consistent and has all the aspects. If your transactional emails, all of them, don't have a cross-sell opportunity, don't have it laid out in a very simplistic form so the consumers can understand what they're getting, you're missing the boat. So make sure that you're adhering to the best practices here, because this is a money-packed email, right? And this is their shipping confirmation. Again, cross-sell at the bottom, right? You bought something, you may change your mind. This is drawn on what you may be looking at. And so make sure that you use every opportunity as a touch point in transactional emails that have a high open and click rate, even though opens are crap. A high open and click rate because people are interested. Now, for Amazon, I'm going to be honest, I don't open all the Amazon emails because I order a lot of stuff, right? I just trust that it's coming. But you can do transactional emails wrong. This was at one time my insurance company. This is what they would send to me. This is devoid of anything that helps me to understand what's going on. This, honestly, looks like a phishing email, and I wouldn't know to open it, right? So it lacks brand consistency or brand standards. It lacks any discernible message that differentiates it from a phishing email. It has an attachment. It has nothing in here that makes me feel comfortable and a warm fuzzy. So they missed the boat here. And that's why I think it's very important to look at these emails to make sure that you're not missing the boat. This was another one from Encore, which is our power company here. Statewide power company. I signed up for their alerts, right? So when we have outages. And that's great, but they missed an opportunity here because the email was just this, right? This is an email that could have been a text. So they missed an opportunity to talk about their uptime and how they respond and what's the brand equity. They missed an opportunity. And it's great that they confirmed that I opted in, but they really didn't do any more than that. So make sure that it doesn't have to be this long email. It can be short, but make sure that you're using the opportunities you have in the inbox, right? So don't do this. Okay, browser remarketing. Oh, if everybody would just get rid of this, I would be happy. Browser remarketing was invented 20 years ago. Why? Because consumers were going online and actually had intent for the things they were looking for. They didn't do a lot of browsing. And when they did a browse, it was because they were interested. People are getting online and going, you know what? I need a ceiling fan. So they type in ceiling fan and they go and you could reasonably expect that intent was high. Intent is what we're talking about when we talk about email, right? And so browse nowadays, I got this email because my sister said, hey, look at this link. This is the new ceiling fan I got for my living room. So I click on it. Now, not only do I get the dang browser marketing email, but I get ads all over the place. I get everything. You know what my intent was on this? Nothing. I came to the website, I spent a second, and then I left. So the basic browser marketing of you looked at it for a second and then you left, that has nothing to do with intent. Don't waste your email. Now, if I look at it, then I come back to it, that may specify intent. So think about intent in these emails, because just the basic, we found these for you. I was looking at my sister's stuff, right? So think about these kind of things. There's some complexity to how you execute these browser marketing emails. This trigger warning enrages me to no end. You go to the site, you haven't opted in, you look around, and what do you get 10 minutes later? You get an email that says, have another look. This is a browser remarketing that is spam. This is so dirty. I had to take an acid shower after I got this. It is bad. I wrote an article about it. It's terrible. It's horrible. Do not do these type of companies, because here's the thing. Number one, creepy. Two, you're sacrificing margin to an affiliate. They're hijacking your margin to get this done. Don't like it. It's unethical in the email world. I have an opinion, right? So those are browser marketing. Please refrain. Image-only emails. I can tell you in the last 5 years, I have seen an increase in image-only emails. Why are image-only emails bad? I can't see anything. I get emails. All my Gmail comes in. Yes, I can get on my phone, but it also comes into Outlook. I don't want to get up to 40 to 50%. And there really hasn't been a study, but it used to be 30 to 40. Recent stat I heard was somewhere around 40 and up have images blocked for privacy, security, Apple, right? Or they're on Outlook, or they're on another thing. It's not ADA compliant. It makes your message look bad. Even, I mean, look at this. Above the fold, right? There's nothing. There's just alt text. And that's great for a pseudo ADA compliant. But ADA compliant is not just taken care of because you put the text in the alt tag. Now, in this example, there is no text in the alt tag. All the alt tag says the exact same thing, right? Stop with the all image. It's lazy email marketing because you want to get production done fast, and you just make it, you chop up the images, you stick it in the email, and you send it. Bad. It's not ADA compliant, and that's a big thing with the number of people that are handicapped or disabled that are reading your emails. You've shut them out of that experience. And plus, for regular consumers, it's horrible. And I will tell you, if your welcome email is all images, you're losing all out of the gate, because they're getting your email. They haven't granted you images yet. Their first impression of you is a whole bunch of empty boxes. These are great. Tommy Bahama has been this way forever. This is what their email looks like with images off. Is that what Tommy Bahama wants to have? This is recent. This is like the other day, right? Actually, the 21st. That was when was that? That was a long time ago. But let's just say these happen all the time. Sam's Club, that's all images. With images off, can't see a thing, right? So this is the problem, folks. We need to make sure that we're not just having all images emails. If you don't know how to code in mixed content, make sure to reach out to somebody to ask how that's done. There's an art form to it, and it doesn't have to be a very long and drawn out kind of a deal, right? If you learn how to do it, it's fairly easy, but just putting images is disrespectful to your audience, right? Next, Amalfi Jets. Love Amalfi Jets. They're great. If you follow them on TikTok, they have hysterical videos, right? and I got their welcome email. It was perfect. It was great. Even with images blocked, was only blocked on the logo. That was it. Everything else I could see was very plain email. But then they fell off the cart. Every email I've gotten from them has been all one image except the footer. And they have to have the footer in there because it's the unsubscribe and the preferences link. But I don't know what this is, which is surprising to me because their audience is more affluent. It's business people. And I'm betting a large percentage of their people read their emails on Outlook because they're in business. So think about the demographic and the reading access that your customer has in terms of consuming your email, right? Unsubscribe confirmations. Oh, I hate these. I hate these. I hate these. Don't tell me that you just unsubscribe me. I don't care. I hit the button. Don't send me an email. It's akin to chasing an old relationship. Please don't break up with me. Please come back. Okay? No, it's desperate. Let's stop that. But in some situations, financial services, paid memberships, you do have to send those, right? So there's a great deal from Medicare.gov, right? If you do have a paid or financial end in a subscription, you do need to send a confirmation. But 9 times out of 10, if you don't send them, right? Mobile design, we still have people that think that I have to pinch. If I have to pinch your message to read it, you're doing it wrong, right? So on the left, you have Sterling Vineyards. It's great. On the right, you have Inglenook Winery. I have to pinch in to see that on my screen. Don't make me squint. Don't make me pinch. And why? Why? This was another thing that I pulled up. And number one, I had images blocked. And two, looks horrible. Why would I unblock images on a mobile device? Next, Woot.com. Love Woot.com. But if the bottom of your message in mobile says view entire message, then it's clipped. And you know why clipping happens? Because of sloppy code. That's the entire reason why your messages got clipped. Because I can take this email, I can give it to my designers, and I can make that message go away just in how I'm clipping them, how I'm coding the message. So if you're seeing that, make sure you're not doing it. And finally, we're coming to the end. Whew, Ryan, we're almost done. Yes, we are. All right, the last half. Don't buy a list. It's a waste of time. Now, this is from 2018. I get 50 of these a week trying to get me to buy information and buy a list. It's bad. Don't do it. It doesn't make any money. It's all just smoke and mirrors. You can make sure that your email list looks like you got 1,000, 100,000, 200,000 people's on your list. But it's not true because they're all bought. They're all sold to you and the other person and the other person and the other person. And you know why I know that people don't like bought lists? Because every time somebody talks to me about buying a list, what do? I say, great, give me your email address and I'll put it on that list that's being sold. And people are like, oh, no, don't do that. Yes, that's why you don't buy a list. So stop buying a list. That's it. I got one more bonus since we got like 30 seconds left. Here's how we're going to do a bonus. I thought this was funny. I saw this ad on Facebook today. When you do advertising, when you do email, when you do targeting, make sure that you've checked it out. I live in Rockwall County, not Rockwell County. This came up today. The comments on it were hilarious, but it's a reminder to all of us to make sure your data has integrity, it's straight, and it knows it aligns to who you're trying to target. That's it. Let's turn over and get some questions from you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session. Please be sure to participate in the poll on the right of your screen. You'll also find a free offer pinned to the chat. The deck for today's presentation and a fabulous AI recap will also be available at the bottom of your screen if you scroll down. And thank you so much, Ryan, for being here. We have so many questions that came in through the Q&A tab. So are you ready to get going with a few minutes and a few hot questions?
Let's go for it. Love it.
Awesome. Let's start with, can you describe the difference between the transactional and promotional email? Sounds like both sell something. That was the question.
Yes. So promotional all of it is selling something. Transactional is informing you of the financial purchase you just made and can have 20% of the message as promotional. So that's where you see the you may be interested in, or you may also want to buy. That can only be in 20%. So that's the difference between the two.
Awesome. That was great. Succinct. I love answers like that. And then are there times where you shouldn't cross sell?
Product mix, right? So if I'm buying a sympathy card or something like that, I don't know that lends itself to cross-selling. So that's up to the merchandiser. It's up to the ethics of the company. There are instances where you don't want to cross-sell. That's in the eye of the beholder or the marketer. That's a little great question, by the way.
Very good question. It's one of those ones where you've kind of got to turn on the empathy a little bit and just kind of think about, put yourself in the recipient's shoes. What are they going to feel like when they receive this email and when they open it? Is it a good feeling or a bad feeling? Is it going to make them want to buy again? But yes, that is a great question. Okay, more about cross-selling. People are really interested in cross-selling. How do you balance adding a cross-sell with CAN-SPAM's rule against promos in transactional emails?
Long story short, back when CAN-SPAM was put into play, I was a marketer, and we had a call with the government that put the law into place and said, we can do promotional, but what's the steerage, right? And that's where that 20% margin, that 20% number came from, is if the email in the transactional email, if it's not overly promotional, and they define that as 20% of the real estate within that email, you're safe under CAN-SPAM for that. Now, I'm not an attorney. Everybody has an attorney at their company, but generally for the last 27 years, I've gone by the 20% rule.
Yes, that's great advice. And yes, also the attorney thing.
Not tell your boss that Ryan said this. Well, you can say that, but don't scream at me if you get if something.
It's great advice. Is there a good way to do image-only emails with HTML?
No, it all sucks. I have seen image-only emails come back over the last 4 years, 5 years, and it was a takeaway from COVID. Everybody was moving fast. Everybody had to get emails out the door. Image-only emails were the way to go because we were so hectic. And I think what's happened since then is that we've hung on to that. Image-only emails are not ADA compliant. If you're a large company, you can be sued because you're not ADA compliant. So I do not agree with image-only emails. I think that it's lazy and it's not realistic to the ADA and accessibility people out there, which represent a big amount of your list.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact stat, but it's pretty huge. And also we've got the European Accessibility Act that came into act this year. And you literally can get sued. You can have legal action taken against you if your emails are not compliant. So yes, big drive to be accessible. Let's see. Oh, there's a big question in here. I don't know if we want to dive into this, but okay, let's do it. What will email marketing look like in 2027?
We're going to see, so I wrote an article about this, but basically we're going to see more adoption of AI within the inbox to prioritize, to deliver, and to really help messages resonate in coordination with what you're doing across the web, right? I think the ultimate extension of email is a custom inbox that really is drawn on what do you want to see. I talked about intent in the presentation. That is going to take the forefront of what AI determines you want to see. So really, we as marketers need to start moving toward that intent-based focus of our message, because that's what's going to prioritize us in 2 to 3 to 4 years.
That's a great answer. I think it kind of segues really well into this question, I think, but let's see what you say. Which type of email do you think carries the most emotional weight or impact? I'm a fan of contextual marketing and timing, if you can't tell. So what do you think? Emotional weight or impact?
Emotional weight. We learned about authenticity during COVID. And what I really enjoy is, and I just was meeting with a client that I do pro bono work on, and she was asking about Thanksgiving. I said, on Thanksgiving morning, send a nice note. Don't sell anything. Just say Happy Thanksgiving and tell a story about your business or about your family, and just say, I hope that people have a great day, and leave it at that. Right? Black Friday's the next day. Let's let's have some empathy in what we do. It's not always about selling, and COVID taught us that. Is that it's about empathy, it's about consideration, and so a brand really needs to work on introducing that in the message stream because it's a relationship builder. It's not just selling crap.
I love that you said that. That's the hill I'll die on, saying that an email is a relationship building channel for sure. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, if 40 to 50% of images don't get looked at, do we even spend time on creating graphics?
Yes, because text emails suck. Listen, 40 to 50% of people have images blocked by default. That does not mean that they don't unblock the image when the email comes in. I do that all the time, right? So images amplify the message, they bring context, and they create or enhance intent. And so all text emails, we did that 25 years ago when we had to make, when we sent through AOL, we had to have an HTML version, and then we had to have a text version, and we had to load that in at the same time, right? So yes, images count, and people who are loyal and interested in your brand and have intent in your brand will unblock the images to see it.
Great answer. And then we have 1 minute left, so I'm going to have one more question. Here we've got, when you say bought list, do you also mean the B2B type list that you can get from platforms like ZoomInfo or GetProspect?
Yes, unless, now if we're talking about B2B, if you get a list, because we have a ZoomInfo account, right, here at RPE Origin. If I get an email, it is a one-to-one email that is highly personalized, highly relevant, and I got one shot, and I put all of my effort into that one shot. If you download a list of 10,000 people from ZoomInfo or whatever services out there, and you send all those 10,000, I'm blocking you as spam because I get 50 a freaking day of spam emails. It drives me insane. And I'm not nice anymore. I used to be nice and just delete it. And now every time I'm blocking it as spam or I'm blocking it as phishing, which is the ultimate punishment. But listen, B2B buying lists is still a mistake, especially with the rise that we've seen over the last 3 years in B2B spam in the inbox. But for a one-on-one conversation, it's your ticket in, but you got to make the sale and you got to make it highly relevant.
Awesome. That is the perfect way to wrap this up. Thank you everyone for attending the session. Please be sure to participate in the poll on the right of your screen. You'll also find a free offer pinned to the